How's it, Indian Cowboy? Tuesday, August the 30th, as we do the live show for you for Wednesday's ball games. So, a little coming at you a little bit later. Normally, we try to come at you around 9:30 for about 15, 20 minutes, but coming at you a little bit later today. Hey, Sandeep, good to see you. Have your ball games ready, and we'll talk about the ball games that you guys want to talk about for about 10, 15, or 15 minutes or so. Um, we are working on YouTube Premium for those of you who were on our YouTube Premium. Working on some changes to YouTube Premium with YouTube. So looking forward to getting those changes done. But hope you guys doing well. Toss me the games you want to talk about, and we will talk about those games, and I will recap all of those leans for you at the end of the video. Sandeep, good to see you. Tariq, Alabama versus Utah State thoughts. I see been watching since 2017. Nice, man. It's good to know. That's what, 5 years now. So let's talk about that game. So Alabama versus Utah State will be the first game that we talked about. My Crimson Tide hook it up here. What's funny is Alabama. The line is obviously 42.5, which is just insane. Utah State comes off that win against Connecticut, but they didn't cover that score. And we actually was on Connecticut in that game. We talked about how Connecticut was probably going to cover that game, and they did. Jim Moore, I'm actually high on Connecticut this year. I think Jim Moore's team is actually going to continue to do well. I mean, they can't get any worse. So, and Moore's team hung in there and only lost by 11 points that game. And the crazy thing is Connecticut was up 14-0 in that game at one point, and then Utah State came all the way back. Alabama opens up here. Obviously coming off that loss to Georgia, 18-33, and after throttling Cincinnati. These two teams don't have any recent meetings, but I want you to take a look at the total in this game. It's at 62.5, and the line is at 42.5. So you're getting about 42 game points before the game even starts. It's interesting because Alabama could put up that many points themselves, but I actually like Utah State here. Utah State is a team that last year, Utah State, let me check something real fast. In 2021, 2022, Utah State was actually, a 10-3 team. That's pretty good. They were 9-4 ATS. They just didn't care about Connecticut, and they had Alabama on deck. And I think what happens here is going to be a pretty competitive game. Competitive like in the first quarter or whatnot. But I think the difference here, I think what's the difference here is that the fact that Alabama is playing a Utah State team that was 9-3. They're returning a lot of starters too, and Utah State did so bad against Connecticut. I like Utah State for the first lean there. So lean on Utah State for game number 1. All right, going on here. Word to your mother, Wes. Good to see you, man. Hey, I see all as well. Hey, Al, good to see you. Tariq, I like Utah State for the game, not just for the half, just for the entire game. Yeah, I see. I love the picks. Thank you again for everything. Of course, best pleader. Of course, man. Glad you watched, and glad you continue to watch. Did you get in trouble with YouTube? Why the change? No. They want us to make some changes. We might actually reach out to you for some help in the near future regarding that. But we're making some changes for them, and I think they'll be happy. So, but yeah, Travis, good to see you. Las Vegas versus Seattle in the WNBA. So for Vegas versus Seattle, that game is tomorrow. Total's at 169.5. Public on the over. Let's see here. These two teams played August 28th. Seattle won on the road by 3. Vegas looking for a little revenge. Game win under 172. When Vegas plays well in this series, last time was 109-100. Games have a tendency to go over. 41-23% shooting, 7 turnovers, 41-26, 11 turnovers. Total was at 172, and now it's at 169. Yeah, you could expect Vegas to possibly bounce back, but I think the selection here is probably the over, because I just can't imagine Vegas shooting as bad as they did last time. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to see this one go over, because Seattle didn't shoot that well either. They scored 76 points, 97, 86, 196, 111 the last 4 games, and then they dropped 76 here. Both these teams only had 16 points in the last quarter as well. I like the over there between Vegas and Seattle, and I might make that a 5-unit selection tomorrow. Moving on here. What up, Chief? Hey, the real JK. Good to see you, man. Or the real JX. David, good to see you. Okay, David wants to talk about West Virginia versus Pittsburgh. So let's go talk about that game. And again, we'll probably stop around 6 games. Just usually we stop around 15 minutes to 20 minutes on the video. This game is tomorrow, or I'm sorry, this game is Thursday. You have Pittsburgh favored by 7.5. It's funny, right? Because Pittsburgh was actually picked in the Final Four by God, game day host. What is his name? Yeah, Desmond Howard, former Heisman winner. Pittsburgh was actually picked as one of his Final Four, which is crazy. Or is it that crazy? People really believe in Pitt this year. They lost to Michigan State 21-31. They were really angry about that game. They had just come off throttling Wake Forest and beating Syracuse and Virginia. And then you have West Virginia rolling in, losing 6-18 in Minnesota in their last game. Head to head, these two teams haven't met since 2011. But Pitt is good this year, okay? And typically I've always believed in it goes favored and under anyway. And the fact that the line has dipped since the opening two makes sense here. I actually like Pittsburgh a decent amount here. And I hope it's on my card this week, but we're going to check it out. But I think Pittsburgh is got big goals this year. I think West Virginia is a little light up front, and I think it makes sense to go with Pittsburgh. Lean on Pittsburgh. Let me check something too. If you look at, let me check something real fast. Let's see here. Yeah. So if you look at a couple things here, what you will see is, yeah, I like Pittsburgh minus the 7.5, and I also like the under in that game as well. What do you think of who will win the WNBA championship? It's a tough call, but I think Seattle looks pretty good right now. But I think Chicago, obviously, they're trying to get back to back, and then you have Connecticut here, who's very, very, very hungry. I think Connecticut actually looks quite good. But I mean, Vegas is obviously the most talented, but Seattle's a tough defensive team. I think it goes game by game. I think the Seattle Vegas game probably goes over tomorrow. So, you know, so yeah, so keep that in mind. I think that I think right now, if I had to pick, I'd probably pick Connecticut just because I have a great home court advantage too. But small lead, but I think it's definitely a week to week type of situation. You still like Utah State in the first half? I was a little bit more focused on the first half and Bama taking the foot off the gas. I don't like to do first halves in general. I like to do the full game. So I still like Utah State for the full game. Hey, Casey, next. Good to see you. Yoshi, Ray, good to see you. David, I hope that analysis helped. The Rays game tomorrow, sure. Let's talk about that. So far, we have Utah State, Vegas, Seattle over in the WNBA, and Pittsburgh in football. The nice winner, by the way, for us as we take the Mariners on the run line and they win. The Tampa Bay game tomorrow against the Marlins. Tampa Bay comes off of a nice 7-2 win here and back-to-back wins for them. They out-hit Miami 14-9. Miami's struggling a little bit here. 2-2-1-2, only 7 runs the last 4 games. I don't see a starter announced for Miami here, and Rasmussen pitching here, but Rasmussen went 5-6-1 against LA, 5-2-2 against KC, 8-1-1 against Baltimore, 3-0. I mean, he's pitching phenomenally well. He's pitched 5 straight quality starts, which is quite good. Total was at 6 for his last game. That's how well he's been pitching. The last 4 of 5 have gone under for him as well. He's got a 2.77 ERA. Hard to pick a thought on this game when the line is not even up on this game, but I'd be interested in maybe looking at the over, but that's about it. But I have no particular line there. So let's move on here. I don't see Seattle winning unless all the boys make. Yeah, I never said Seattle was going to win. I actually think Connecticut is going to do pretty well. Yeah, if I had to pick, it'd probably be Connecticut. So but I just I don't believe in WNBA futures in general because I think it changes from game to game, and I think injuries happen too. I think you should win the bet for that game. I think futures. I'm not a huge fan of futures, though we do it for NFL, but usually it's on the under in the NFL. Hey JM, good to see you. So big wig right now. I'd lean on the over in the Marlins game, but there's no pitcher announced yet. So, NC State versus East Carolina. All right, NC State, East Carolina. Let's see. For NC State, East Carolina. NC State is an 11.5-point favorite. Totals dropped. Last time these two teams met, NC State won. It was 2019. NC State won 34-6. NC State coming off that big win against North Carolina, and then Syracuse. Their defense probably is their strength. East Carolina coming off giving up 35 points to Cincinnati, but they played pretty well, right? Pretty good defensive team. They held Temple to 3 points. So for this game, I actually like the under. So for this game, I actually like the under. It's a regional battle, and I think these coaches know each other's teams pretty well. So for that game, take a look at the NC State East Carolina under the posted total. Both these teams' strength, I believe, is on the defensive end. In the past, it's been on the offensive end, but I think it's on the defensive end this year. NC State is 5-2 to the under in non-conference games as well, and East Carolina is pretty good defensively at home. They're 5-1 at home to the under as well. So I want you to keep an eye on that. Okay. Moving on here. Yoshi, good to see you. Bills Rams week 1. So for Bills Rams, Buffalo's favored by 2.5 on the road. Totals at 52, 53.5. It's a pretty high total. I mean, Buffalo, of course, lost to Kansas City in their last game in overtime, a game they should have won. Rams 23-20 in their last win, 20-17, 30-27. Of course, they win the Super Bowl. Total was at 46.5 back in 2020. Public is sitting on the over as well. Interesting. The public likes the over 62%, huh? You know, no one is giving the Rams a chance right now. And the Rams are an exceptionally good team, and they're going to get up for this game. They are. And they come off scoring, and Buffalo comes off scoring 0 points in their last preseason game, and the Rams come off scoring 7 points. So I like the over here. I like the over because I think that you have a Rams team that can be an active dog. Both these teams really rested their players and didn't do much in the last game. Thursday Night Football is the opening week, so I think there's going to be some fireworks. I like the over between Buffalo and the Rams here. The over, by the way, is a 9-0. Let me see 1 second here. The over is, 4-1 for the Bills in the last 5 road games. And the over is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings in general. So I actually like the over in that game. One more game, and then we'll call it a night here. And then I will recap all of this for you real fast. How do you feel about the Broncos versus Seattle? I live in Seattle personally. I think the Broncos will win the game, though. So for this game, yeah, I mean, Seattle's only a 6.5-point dog at home. It's really funny, of course. They put Russell Wilson right against his former team, and the total's only 42.5 to begin with. I think, if anything, I like the over. I think Seattle does well when they have the opportunity of being a dog and no one expects them to do well. And Denver will also want to come out here and score some points too. But of course, Denver's strength probably is their defense. They come off 4 straight losses. It's a tough game. Usually it's really hard for quarterbacks to face their former team and do well. But I also don't like the fact that the total is so low. 42.5 is such a low total. Is it the lowest total of the week? Cleveland, Carolina is pretty low. San Fran, Chicago is low, but that makes sense, right? Denver, Seattle seems awfully low. You expect Seattle to be an underdog. Maybe Denver doesn't step up offensively as you'd expect. Yeah, it's an ugly game. I think there's better games out there, to be honest with you. Denver did put up 23 points in their last game, and 15 the week before. But again, maybe this is one of those ugly games where Seattle, the game goes under, and it's one of those ugly games that Seattle just plays phenomenal defense with their crowd, and then Denver sits on a lead. So I'll take a lean on the under. The more I think about it, the more it takes sense. So I'll take Denver, Seattle under as your lean. So there's our 15 minutes. Here's your recap. We talked about 6 games today. That's just a complimentary night video that we do for you guys. If you want the detailed analysis, just listen to earlier the video. We try to make sure we keep it within 20 minutes. But the first lean was on Utah State over Alabama, and the analysis is in the earlier part of the video. Vegas, Seattle over in the WNBA tomorrow. Pittsburgh in football, nice lean there for us in college football. I also like NC State, Eastern Carolina under. The Bills and the Rams over on Thursday night. And I also like the Broncos and the Seahawks under the posted total. Hope that helps. Let me get to your final questions here. Who is on your fantasy team this year, IC? Yeah, I got a bunch of Raiders receivers. I got the Bills, a bunch of Bills players as well. I got Josh Allen as my quarterback. So those are the people that I have there. Hey, IC, what do you think about Ohio State versus Notre Dame this week? I think the line is a bit low. Ohio State new defensive coordinator should have no problem scoring. Yeah, so on that game, I'll just give you a quick lean there. Yeah, I would lean on Ohio State. They need to win. They need to win big, especially for their fan base. I take Seattle win week 1. Hey, Yoshi, good to see you. Any tips for fantasy football, Cowboy? I'll probably have some tips as I research more football, and I'll give it to you during that. I'm already giving 3 leans every day, so you'll see it there. Want to wage Seahawks beat Broncos week 1? Yeah, it looks like Tariq and Yoshi might get in on some betting there. Okay. Bang Bus Driver just saw that. NC State under. Yes, Yoshi, I lean on NC State under. I see. Thanks for the live shows. I've been a YouTube premium. We'll end up big. We'll be one when it ends up running. Thanks, man. Yeah, we hope to have it up running again soon. I can reach out to you. I'm very serious. The under in the Bills game. The under in the Bills game. No, I like the over in the Bills game. Dodgers, Mets. Robert, we'll try to get to that game tomorrow. Ravens, Jets. I'll keep that in mind. Yoshi, David, good to see you, man. Lance, Lacrosse, Sandeep, MJ, fantasy football, please. Sure. As the week goes on, I'll give you more fantasy football advice. Appreciate you. Good luck. Thank you, Lance. Appreciate it. Joey Garcia, Phillies blew a 7-0 lead. That's wild. Reach out to me. All right. Well, you guys do your own thing. So you should RZA. You should get a refund, and then I think we're going to start it back up. Whatever YouTube, we work on a few things with YouTube. So again, recap: Utah State, Vegas, Seattle over in the WNBA, Pittsburgh in college football, NC State, ECU under in college football, Bills, Rams over, and Denver, Seattle under. Those were our 6 games that we talked about. If you want the analysis, just check the video earlier. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like it if you enjoyed it. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.